we've taught all of our coaches to say, that's beyond the scope of our mission here together. All right. We cover that in our, year-long momentum program, but I want to really focus, with a single mind on getting you across the finish line to mission accomplished. So let's just focus on what you need to launch your course, make some money, no more, no less.
For the most part, what people ask of me is my personal stuff. Like I'll mention something about wanting to move countries or talk about my kids or whatever, and they'll like really go deep into that on a coaching call for which they paid to like learn. And I feel like bad. Be like, guys, I mean, it's your time, but they want to know the personal stuff.
100%.
So
well, what I was saying is that sometimes people, for example, if I'm in a course about course creation, they want to know, should I incorporate my business and all this other stuff that's not really related to design, launch, and profit from an experienced product in 12 weeks or less. So now we have 20 coaches who support this program. So every student has their own coach. We've taught all of our coaches to say, that's beyond the scope of our mission here together. All right. We cover that in our, year-long momentum program, but I want to really focus, with a single mind on getting you across the finish line to mission accomplished. So let's just focus on what you need to launch your course, make some money, no more, no less. And people really respect that. And you're able to, instead of everyone's like squirrel, 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 and then the container kind of starts to dissolve a little bit. You're really holding people to this one singular goal of getting the mission accomplished. And that's really powerful because they become almost obsessed with it, almost so much so that you have to normalize them not completing later on. We see sometimes up to 51% of our students completing, but then the other 49 feel really bad because we've mobilized them so much. We've got them to care about it so much. So then I have to normalize on the other side. You know what? You went for it, right? Or something came up along the way, it's okay. If you've already won, you've made so much progress. So I have to normalize it on the other side because 51% is way beyond what anybody else sees. Like the average is 3%. So 51% is like a 17x improvement. You know what I'm saying? But, people will still feel bad because you've actually made it that important by reinforcing it over and over and over again,
I know. Look, I'm pretty sure we can't do justice to all your techniques and secrets in this interview, but I do know that you're working on something special that's about to come out. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, 100%. Well, once a year, I do this 7-day online course creators workshop series. And if you're watching this, it's live right now. And I'd love to send you into the first part of the series. And I'll just send you to a PDF. And on the back of the PDF, you'll get invited to the actual workshops. And it's called the dopamine button. So these are 3 brain hacks that you can use to pretty much instantly skyrocket course engagement and sales. So if you go to liveyourmessage.com/Igor, liveyourmessage.com/Igor, IGOR, you can go ahead and grab that. And if the workshop series is already over because you're watching this later on, there's still going to be something cool for you there. I'll still give you a copy of the PDF guide. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan to me, Cap. So there you go. Liveyourmessage.com/Igor to get your dopamine report and invitation to a 7-day course creator workshop. So if you want to create a course, if you're already a course creator, if you're not sure what your course is going to be about, if you want to inject some dopamine into your process, then check it out because she's the best in the biz for that. Well, Marissa, before I let you go,
I forgot to say it's completely free too. The 7-day online course creator.
Goes without saying it's completely free. One more question before I let you go. If you could go back in time and meet yourself 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
If I were to go back in time and meet myself 10 years ago, I actually started this business 12 years ago. So I think we got to go back 20 years maybe.
Let's do 20. I can't tell how old you are, so let's do 20.
I'm 45, so, but I'm Asian, and Asians don't raisin. So, as they say, right? So if I were to go back 20 years ago, I remember I was actually working in a nonprofit. Actually, 20 years ago, I was early in my career. And I remember, this is so ironic because of what I do today. My boss wanted to bring in some funds to the nonprofit. So she came up with the idea of me consulting with clients to other nonprofits to help them create an email newsletter. And I remember being like, who in the world would sign up for an email newsletter, right? And what would you even say? Like, what would you write to them? It's ironic because I've sent millions and millions and millions of email newsletters since then. But she wanted to charge $50 for my time. And I was like, who in the world is going to pay me $50? Because
I was
this whole
hoping
skill set, I know, $50 an hour. The skill set, my creative skill set at the time, I was using it in the nonprofit world and I was using it as an independent filmmaker. So I was using it in ways that weren't recognized and weren't paying me a lot of money. And I didn't realize that the very same skill set in the context of like a business and marketing was like a million dollar skill set. So what I now know is that a lot of times the skills that every single person has $1 million skill set inside of them. And you just need to cultivate the other skill set you need to turn your $1 million skill set into an actual $1 million, which is some of the foundation of business and marketing. And when you do, you're capable of so much more than you ever imagined. So to that girl who didn't feel like she could charge even $50 an hour, I want her to know that I now charge $5,000 an hour. And I want her to know that the skills she spent a lifetime developing, that her brother and her father told her had no marketable value, actually are hugely valuable.
It's so inspiring. Let's wrap it up on this amazing note. So guys, listen, if you're watching this and you think you're worthless or not worth a lot or your skill isn't important, remember the words of Marissa that go something like this: your skill is worth $1 million. So this is the List Building Lifestyle. Marissa, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Guys, if you want to get your dopamine report and invitation to the 7-day creator workshop, please go to liveyourmessage.com/Igor and go there as fast as you hear this message, because you might be late for the workshop, but even if you are, you're still going to get a free report. This is about it. Thank you so much for talking us through gamification. We can tell you really live your message for sure. And until next time we chat, have a good one.
Thank you, Igor.